All right. Good morning. It is late in the morning, but it is still morning. And so hopefully you're doing well. I got up kind of late. I got up at 5:30, but I ended up going back to sleep. I felt like crap. I got a nice spider bite on my stomach. Don't know how I got it. Things are just getting ridiculous. But it was kind of interesting. I went back to sleep. I was frustrated. 5:30 I got and then I got up at 7. So I slept for another hour and a half. I did go to bed late last night. I think I went to bed at 11:30, quarter of 12. I was reading and reflecting and doing a few things. So I got to bed later than I expected. But I was hoping to get away with 6 hours, and get up at 5:30. Again, my alarm went off. I got up, but I felt completely out of it, and I was frustrated because I was like, all right, universe, why am I feeling so low in energy? But all these spider bites are just really taking their toll on me, I think, which is crazy. But I went back to sleep and I had a really crazy dream. Just remember a short snippet of it, but I felt like I was like, did I just meet my spirit guide or something? Because it was just really, really weird. Not weird, but just a very interesting and deep dream. Crazy. Um, I'd do a brief description of it. It was based. I did write about it in my dream journal, which I do keep a dream journal. Things that I remember, I write down. But this was very, very interesting, and to the point where I remembered it hours after I woke up, and I still remember it. And it was very real, very vivid, very realistic. But it was quite interesting. I was at some event somewhere, and there was a man. A man came up to me and shook my hand, but he shook my hand in a very unusual way. I'd say it was like, instead of when you clasp hands, you kind of do the over like this or whatever. Kind of hard to do. But anyways, your thumb goes over the person's hand usually. His hand was tucked in here, and he wrapped his hand around. He wrapped his this part around, and I could feel this inside. I could feel it inside. I didn't really think much of it, but he still had a very strong handshake. But then I don't remember his name, and then he kind of went off on his own. And then I remember walking outside, and it was like a patio, terrace, whatever, very interesting. And I remember looking up at the sky, and I think one of my sons was there, and I think it might have been my wife was to the right of me. I'm not really sure. But I remember looking up at the sky and seeing regular clouds. It was dark out. It was nighttime, but there was clouds. But you could see like a reflection of some sort of light off the clouds. So they're kind of like a whitish orange look, a little bit iridescent. But then in between the clouds, they were very sporadic, very kind of big clouds here and there. In between that, there was these much darker, wispy clouds, kind of, and they were moving in their own way. It was almost like it was like the night sky. Then there was clouds, and in between there was this darker, kind of very wispy, thin, dark, like jet black cloud, like almost like this color. Very interesting. And I remember saying something about it. I was like, "Oh man, I've never seen a sky like that." And then I looked down and I saw a woman, and she was in a white dress, and she had. It wasn't like she was extremely beautiful, but you could tell she was older, but she had no wrinkles, right? The way she held herself, the presence, to set the other thing. And she had a white dress on, and I remember the guy inside that had shook my hand was like, "Oh, I want you to meet so and so." He didn't say his wife, he didn't say his partner. It was kind of about someone that I knew that he was with. And so when I saw this woman, I kind of immediately knew that that's who he was referring to. And this woman was, she was white dress, but it was, she had these very, like color, like pink, very pink, blue, different color, like flowers or different designs on the dress, very pale, very interesting. And it looked very intricate when you got up close to it. I remember talking with her and meeting her and shaking her hand, and she did the exact same thing. It was her thumb was on the inside, which I thought was interesting, to the point where I remember like kind of adjust, trying to show her, oh no, this is how we shake hands here, and I'm not sure what I meant by that. And she had a very strong grip as well, very strong grip, very firm. I wouldn't say like overpoweringly, but for a woman, I was like very shocked. I was like, okay, this was the same grip that guy had, very strong, firm hand grip, a handshake, and she didn't let go of my hand. I remember talking, having my hand out, and I remember having to reach over and talking, and she did not let go of my hand for what felt like quite a long time, like an unusually long amount of time. And I don't remember the conversation, but I do remember as she let go of my hand, we were chatting for a minute, and then I remember as she was about to walk away, I saw her eyes, and I was like, oh wow. I was like, don't leave. Can I see your eyes? And it was like, she had these crystal blue eyes, which is very interesting. And like I said, you could tell she was very, she was older, but not like super old. But these crystal blue eyes. And when I looked at them and I got close up to them, it was like three-dimensional, like super deep eyes. It was like crazy. I've never, I was just like, oh man, I've never seen anything like that. But her eyes had little flecks of all these different colors going on, reds, greens, different blues, oranges, all flecked in there. And it was like, holy crap. I was like, pretty amazing. But yeah, we continued to have a conversation, which I don't remember the conversation. And she did introduce herself, and I don't remember her name. But it was very interesting. I just remember seeing her eyes, and I remember the way she looked. Very interesting. But I remember when I first saw her, she had blonde curly hair. And she was very fair skinned. But then as I looked at her eyes and I was looking into her eyes, and then I kind of stepped back away, her hair was now brown and curly, and she had a darker complexion. It was very interesting. So I was like, interesting. But the dress was the same. So yeah, very interesting. And then she kind of was like, well, I'd love to continue this conversation. Unfortunately, so-and-so, which was the man that was inside that I'd met, she referred to, isn't here right now. And I would love for him to be a part of this conversation. So let me go find him. And she turned to walk away, and that was when I woke up again. And I didn't think about it until after I woke up, probably a half hour after. I was like, and then I remembered the dream. I was like, oh man, did I just have that dream? I was like, that was a really intense dream. So anyways, let me make sure this is still rolling. All right, still rolling. All right, so odd thing. Anyways, so didn't get much done today on that end. I did work out this morning. I didn't go to MMA. Wasn't feeling it again, but I did force myself through a workout. I had to go to the store and return a few things, and then I just kind of now I have my PC on and I am getting into some work. I did have a call as well, and I'm going to get into some work. I do have an event tonight. I have every single night this week. I think I have events going on in Boston, so I'm going to be pretty busy, and it's going to cut a big chunk of my time out of my day. And I do have to go get my truck inspected before heading to Boston. I just realized it is overdue by 2 months, so thankfully I haven't been pulled over. But yeah, so I got to go get that done. So I got to leave a little bit early. It's a 5:15 meeting, and I'm meeting someone at the same space. I'm gonna probably try and get there, 30 minutes early. So probably not much time ahead of me to get things done. So I do want to work on the museum documentation this morning or today, as well as a little bit more on Nona Rev, which is actually that's what I was doing late last night too on the review platform, working on that, working on the moonshot as they call it from EXO. So I was working on that on their website and kind of going through that and using AI to kind of help refine that and stuff like that. So anyways, so yeah, I want to work on that a little bit. That tonight's event is kind of revolving around that because I consider that's for founders. So looking forward to that. So anyways, so hopefully hopefully you've gotten a lot more done than I have today. I feel like I was spinning my wheels, but today's only a day, right? And that's one of the things that I think all of us have to realize. You have every day is ant crawl or spider crawling up my leg, something. Anyways, every day is different. Every day is going to be different. There's no doubt about that. But you have to take them one day at a time. You have to understand that today is just that day. So if you have a negative day or you have a failure today, that failure is part of success, right? As long as you take it as that, as long as you frame it in that mindset, figure out what you learned, figure out the win for the day, then move forward. But do not think about it as a failure and then that tomorrow is going to be a crappy day or not, because that's not the truth. Every day is the opportunity to make it a great day, to make it a new day, to crush your goals, to catch your dreams, to make things really happen for you. And that's what you have to remember every single day. Okay? Does not matter how bad it gets. Tomorrow is another day. New day, new opportunity. And those opportunities can be huge. And you have the obligation to frame it in that mindset and be positive about it so that you will bring positive things to you. And that's, I'm 100%, I'm 100% positive and sold on that. That is what has to happen. It does not matter what happens in your personal life, what happens in your business life, what happens in your finances on a day-to-day, as long as every day you look at it as a new day and a new opportunity to do even better than you did before. You have to think about yourself as being the best at everything, as in the best possible version of you every single day. And that comes from that mindset, that thought process of thinking ahead and knowing that you're going to learn something today. And even if it's a failure in your opinion overall, you find that silver lining and you take that forward to the next day, and the next day you become a new best version of yourself. So anyways, that's enough ranting for the day. Talked about my crazy dream, very little bit about the business. But yeah, now it is time for me to get to work. So until tomorrow, hopefully you're having a wonderful day and you are crushing your goals, catching your dreams. Till tomorrow, peace out.